What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for another Tottenham update again, and where else to start but the manager situation. And the Times are reporting on Mauricio Pochettino today, saying that Tottenham risk missing out on Pochettino at the end of the season. Poch is high up on Real Madrid's shortlist if Carlo Ancelotti leaves the club this summer. And we've already had, I think it was Henderson coming out in recent days saying that he thinks Carlo Ancelotti is going to be the next Brazil manager after this season, after he leaves Real Madrid. Yeah. So it looks as though Carlo is potentially leaving Real Madrid. Do you think Poch will be their number one choice?
Well, he was, wasn't he? A few years ago, I think when he was Tottenham manager, I think they really wanted him. But
just go for Conte.
Exactly. Well, why are they being around the bush? Get a man. Look, I think Conte would probably work well at Real Madrid, to be honest. And they've just had Ancelotti, who's not like the most defensive manager either. So going for someone like Antonio Conte, I think would probably help them win trophies, although they love the Champions League and his record in Europe will probably be something they look at. Pochettino, I can definitely look. Florentino Perez has been on record saying how much he admires Pochettino and how much he rates him, and they've been linked with him before, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's someone they look at. But I get the feeling that someone like Tuchel would be more suited to them, in my opinion, than someone like Pochettino. So I would be more surprised if they went for Poch over someone like Tuchel, although they have more of a registered interest in Pochettino. I think they will. I think they will go for Poch, to be honest. So I think we have to get there quick, unless he's got sounded out that he's going to be the next one there, which is worrying. Because if you look at their team, like Vinicius and Rodrigo, their front line, they can really do that high press, in my opinion. I think obviously Modric and Kroos will have to be moved on, but I think they've got the Camavinga coming through, Valverde's there, Tchouaméni. They really got the makings of a young team who can really do his system. So I think it could work.
Yeah, I was hoping you were going to say otherwise, to be honest, because I think Poch, obviously I said yesterday, I think Poch is my number one choice. I'd love him to come back. But if Real Madrid are sniffing around, can you really... like Poch has been so open about coming back to Spurs, but you kind of feel like with Real Madrid it might not come around as often as the Spurs job. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's definitely true. I mean, to be fair, both teams do tend to hire and fire managers pretty frequently, but that's maybe why Pochettino, we're hearing the rumours as well. I can't remember who reported it. Pochettino's kind of waiting until the summer to assess all his options. And maybe that's why, because he's heard that the Madrid job might be available. So why jump at the chance to join Tottenham right now, when he can wait in the summer and just assess what's out there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're looking to hire someone now, if Pochettino kind of rejects the chance, and it puts us in a tough situation, because if Poch says I want to wait till the summer, then what do we do? Do we wait, or with the risk of still missing out of him, or do we just appoint someone now who's maybe not our first choice, if our first choice is Poch?
That's the thing, because if we do wait, then we risk having another summer like we had last summer, 72 days without a manager. And I kind of feel like we just need to take care of our interests as soon as possible. And if he's not available, he doesn't want to come, then we need to look at our next target, in my opinion. I don't think that we should be waiting on a manager to make a decision, because that decision could easily be no.
Yeah.
So that's the situation with Pochettino. Let's move on. Let's talk about a transfer rumour in Dean Henderson. ESPN are reporting that Tottenham are interested in signing Dean Henderson from Manchester United this summer. We've spoken about him a lot in the last year or so. I mean, I would still say my preferred choice is David Raya. I like Henderson, though. I do like Dean Henderson as a goalkeeper. I think he's impressed this year at Forest. I think, though, since Keylor Navas has come in, he's looked miles better than Dean Henderson, to be honest. I thought he was really good at Sheffield United in that year. Hasn't been able really to get to grips with things at Man United when he goes there. So I don't know. Do you want Dean Henderson?
I mean, I think the full story was they're trying to use him as a makeway in a Harry Kane swap deal.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I read. That's what they were reporting anyway, ESPN. So do I want that? Do I want Dean Henderson to lower the price, or do I want all the money? I wouldn't want Dean Henderson thrown in, to be honest. I think we can look at a higher. Although, look, to be fair, he is quite a good goalkeeper. He's obviously brilliant at Sheffield United with them in the Premier League. He has had a few opportunities at Man United without impressing. And then this season at Nottingham Forest, he's been decent. But to trust Henderson with our number one position, no, I don't know if I want to do that, to be honest. Look, as a number two, That'll be great, but I don't think he wants to be a number 2. He's been number 2 at Man United for ages, so I don't think he's going to go anywhere without being number 1. So
exactly, there's no reason for him to leave Man U then if he just wants to be number 2.
So for me, I wouldn't want to sign Henderson with the guarantee of him being our number 1 for me. And then in that sense, I'd rather have the money. And then if we are going to sell Kane, which I hope we don't, but if we are going to do it, then I'd rather the money and spend as much money as possible on his replacement than lowering that price with bringing in Dean Henderson.
Fair enough. I mean, I think he is a good keeper, to be honest. I really do like him as a goalkeeper, but I just think there are better keepers out there that we should be targeting at the moment. Next up, let's talk about Ben Davies now, because the injury has been announced. Ali Gold has been talking about his injury, and he says that he's going to be ruled out between 4 and 6 weeks with a hamstring injury he suffered against Southampton, and he understands Ben Davies is going to miss a hefty chunk of the remainder of the season, up to 6 weeks, like I said, with the hamstring injury that he did suffer at Southampton. So Davies out, Sessegnon out, Perisic not playing well at all. Doesn't leave us with many options.
Well, it's a big worry, especially if let's say we bring in a new manager and he wanted to play a back 4, then we really have no options of playing a left back unless you wanted to do what Mourinho used to do and play like a long lay there and have him tuck in and have the right back go.
Emerson there, to be honest.
Yeah, you could play Emerson there. I don't think he looks very comfortable there, in my opinion. So I don't know how great he will be. When I've seen him, I just think he looks a bit awkward when he plays on the left-hand side.
Hasn't had that many minutes there, has he?
No, he hasn't. But when he has, I haven't been that impressed. But I guess we have. Look, that might not be an option. As in, it might not be a choice. We might have to play him there because I don't want to see Perisic as a left back in a back 4. If we do play a back 5. Again, we might not have the choice but to persist with Perisic, to be honest. But if we are going to play, the question is, look, it's all up in the air in terms of manager-wise. Depends who the manager is, what formation he wants to play in, and depending on that will depend on what I want to see.
And you know what? This was the exact situation we were talking about on deadline day of Matt Doherty. The exact situation, right? We were saying, why rip up his contract when he can be a third choice? Well, funnily enough, we need our third choice right now.
Especially, and you can't even say, oh, we was out of the Champions League club. We're not in the Champions League anymore. It doesn't even matter. So he's not even playing that much at Atletico, is he? I gather right now. So we could definitely do with him. It's really stupid we just cancelled his contract. We could have definitely done with him, but is what it is. Yeah, I think just a lot in terms of how worried I am about the situation. It's hard to be worried about that situation when you've got a bigger situation like the manager's like it's so insignificant compared to that. But it depends. If we play a back 4, back 5, that will depend who we play.
It's mad. Like we've been so set on our formation and set in our ways the whole season. And now we're in an international break. We're playing in 10 days or whatever it is. And we just have no clue how we're going to play, who our manager's going to be, who our left back's going to be. I mean, everything is just so up in the air with this football club. It's nuts.
Nothing's for certain right now.
All right, let's talk about the kits for next season. They've been leaked online, these kits for next season. We've got all 3 to show you. We'll start with this away kit, which I really like. Iridescent logos, blue kit. It really is a nice kit. One of my favourites, to be honest. If you bring up, can you bring up the picture of the whole kit with Sonny? Yeah, that one. Look at that. What a kit that is.
That's
so simplistic.
It's very similar to a kit we had a couple of years ago, isn't it? When we had, I'm trying to remember what year it was. I'm pretty sure 2019 when we had, when Ndombele just signed, I remember.
Yeah, it was
very similar to that
without the purple trim on it, I think.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, it looks fairly nice. I like the badges and stuff. Yeah. They're pretty cool. Is that going to be? How likely do you think it is? These are the kits.
This website's always spot on. I think it's more or less spot on, to be honest.
Okay, it looks fairly nice.
I love that kit. I really do. If you bring up the home kit for next season, it's got a. That's not the home kit. That's the third kit. Yeah, this is the home kit. Bring up the home kit. This is the home kit. It's got the stadium design in the background of it. Again, iridescent logos. This one, I'm not really convinced on. I don't really like that one, but it's always different when you see the players in it. But I'm not.
It looks very similar to
last year.
The one 2020, 2021. That kit under
What,
Mourinho.
with the yellow?
Yeah, but without the yellow. This one it doesn't have the yellow, but it's quite similar to that as well.
It's got a similar design, but this one is literally modelled on the stadium. But I'm not a fan of it, this kit, to be honest.
I have to see a better picture of it, I think, and also with the players in it. But I mean, it's not great, but
the away kit's much nicer.
Yeah, I like the away kit.
And this is the third kit. I mean, I don't know what colour you want to call that. Grey? I don't know what this is.
It looks like white to me. I don't know. It looks like.
But this is apparently our third kit for next season. I mean, what kind of team will we need to play in this kit?
I don't know. Somewhat.
Because surely whoever we play, if we play in white, we can play in white.
Yeah, I know. This doesn't make any sense. Is that grey? Is that cream?
It's not cream. No.
Not cream. I don't know. I don't know what. Surely there's a better picture of it. I can't tell. I can't tell what that is. That's pretty horrendous. I don't know. I got no words.
There's no red logo.
It just looks like the same kit, but just black logo. That's what it looks like, to be honest. It's just very strange.
Yeah, black and like a.
Is that grey?
White. I think it's grey.
I can't tell. It's just like I can't tell if it's like because if you go to like a different picture, like the lighting, it just seems like really bad lighting on it. You know what I mean? So you can't really tell.
That's what it looks like, but it's actually that's the colour of the kit.
I have to see it in person with my own eyes. I can't. Honestly, it's so strange.
It is a strange kit, but those are the three kits for next season. Apparently, I think one of them's definitely a winner. The other two, I'm definitely not sure about. But let's talk about some interesting quotes that have been coming out over the last 24 hours. We'll start off with Dejan Kulusevski. He's talking about Conte and the comments and everything. And he says, talking about Conte's comments, he says, he wasn't happy, and that's what he thinks. We have to respect that he's not happy. I respect him, but I also know who I am and what I put in to perform. I can look at myself in the mirror and know that I'm always doing my best. It makes a lot of sense to him, while it doesn't change anything to me. I know what I'm good at and what I'm doing. Every match I go out to play as well as I can. Sometimes you can't perform the way you want. I can't say any more on that. And then he was commenting on Conte's future, and he says right now he is still there, and we all have to take that into account. I don't know what will be, but as in life things change, then you have to be ready for the change, and life will still go on. And then they asked him, do you still want to play for Tottenham, and will you still take up that obligation if Conte does go? And he says, Conte's situation will not affect the club's buy option for me. Absolutely not. I want to stay at Spurs, of course. That's a good thing, at least, because there were like a bit of anxiety and a few fans thinking like the players like Kulusevski and Bentancur might fall out with Spurs.
Well, Bentancur was permanent, isn't he?
Yeah, Bentancur was permanent.
But yeah, Kulusevski, I think he loves it here at Tottenham. He says he loves playing at the stadium. He's found a new home. Like, he's really appreciated here at Spurs, like he wasn't at Juve. So it doesn't surprise me. To be fair, those quotes from Kulusevski really probably highlight what Conte did wrong in his press conference, and Højbjerg said it as well. Like, if you're going to attack players like that, you have to be very specific about who you're talking about, and what. Because I think Conte was obviously right in a lot of what he said, but you can't tarnish everyone with the same brush. If he's going to say people are selfish, you have to. Obviously, he's not going to name names of the press conference, but you have to be specific about who you're talking about. Because
you're not going to name names, how are you supposed to be specific?
I know, but you can't just say the whole team is selfish. You know what I mean? Everyone's selfish, and then because then people like Kulusevski are going to take that. To, you can't be talking about me. You know what I mean? I know I give 100% everything. Who's he talking about? He's talking about Kane. Talking about Son. Is he talking about people like Dyer or who like? That's the problem he's caused with these comments. It's going to piss everyone off because we don't know. No one knows who he's talking about, and he's not specific, and it's going to turn even the people who are well intentioned, who are following him, it's going to turn them off because they're going to be thinking, well, I've been giving 100% for this manager, and now he's calling me selfish, even though it might not be him. So that is the main issue, I guess, from Conte's explosion, and probably why it's going to cost him his job, to be honest. But those quotes from Kulusevski are encouraging in terms of him staying, which is good. But yeah.
Absolutely. And finally, we got some quotes from Pedro Porro as well, responding to those Tim Sherwood quotes from Sky Sports. He was on Soccer Saturday for the debut of Pedro Porro against Leicester, and he basically said that Porro is absolutely dreadful. It's the worst game he's seen from anyone, and he was just laying in to Pedro Porro for that game. And he responds to those comments, and he says, "I don't know him. People passed it on saying he had spoken badly about me, but he won't be the first who had to shut his mouth." You read what's said about a player who has been at a club for 2 days, and that hits you because you think, I've just got here. I'm not a machine, and that goes like this, and that's that. I know everyone. I'm integrated. I really hope he keeps saying bad things about me because that will make me stronger. And then he goes on to say, let me loose in prison and I'll end up owning the place, but it's hard. It was only a week. I've never played a minute at City, never played in England in my life. It's been a couple of days. I start against Leicester. What do you want? For me to score 5 and cut out 70 balls? Anyone can have a bad day. From there, I just keep on going, take English chances, get into the group, adapt, and we'll go from there. And then he went on to talk about his long-term ambitions. And he says, of course, my long-term ambition is to stay at Tottenham and to succeed at Tottenham.
It's a good mentality.
I love what he said. The show was such an idiot, though.
Yeah, he's Sherwood just saying things to try and not obviously not put him down, but he's just saying things to try and be kind of controversial, a bit edgy, exactly. Sherwood's had a few things to say over the past 24 hours as well. But Porro, actually, I was reading this article and it mentioned the article what Porro had to say about Conte in his comments, and he said he hadn't seen them. He said he only saw them. This
was the first he was hearing of them.
Yeah, these are the first he was hearing about the comments and he didn't want to get into it. He didn't want to comment on them, which is fair enough. He's new to the team. What's he going to do?
Himself from it completely.
Yeah, what's he going to do? Go start getting involved in it when he's so new to the club and he's trying to integrate. But I think it's a good mentality to want to prove people wrong. I think it can. Kane, we know how that's kind of fueled him throughout the years, the proving people wrong, and people have said this and that about him, and he's used that to his advantage and fuel to improve himself. And it seems like Porro has a similar mentality, so it's really good.
All right, so that is your Tottenham update for today. Really interesting quotes there from Kulusevski and Pedro Porro. Let me know in the comments section below what your thoughts are on the new kits. Who do we want to play at left back? And do you want Dean Henderson as your number 1 for next season? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.